All right, who's ready for week 3? I am. Yo, what's up, everybody? We are here with Too Much Fantasy Football on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Thanks for hopping in with me, Too Much Brian, and of course, my buddy Brennan. Brennan, say hi to the folks. There we go. There's the wave everybody's looking for. Yeah, Brennan got a little too busy today. New job, lots of things happening, so I am here solo. So if you're saying I want a little less Brian, then this is not the episode for you. Today we are doing Too Much Brian on Too Much Fantasy Football. But of course, we have to wrap up the wonderful week 2 that we had. Well, honestly, got to wrap up all the damn injuries. It's been freaking ridiculous. I have some teams that are just completely out. I just folded it all together. Not right, but it's bad out there on the streets. So before I say any more, let's get rolling. Where them tight ends at? That's what we're going to start off with. First is the tight ends. Where are they? Week 2, and it was better. I'll say, folks, it was a lot better. George Kittle led the way with 17 points, 7 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Not too shabby. Trey McBride pulled in 6 of his targets for 67 yards. Fell in the ball, so he got credit for a touchdown, but it was nothing more than a James Conner fumble that he was able to fall on. So saved his day, but Marvin Harrison Jr. absolutely blew up, had 2 touchdowns right off the bat, kind of took it away. Other tight ends we were looking at that we drafted in the top 16 at the position. Brock Bowers finished at number 4, 9 catches on 9 targets, 98 yards. He is looking fabulous. Mark Andrews finished at number 11. That's it, folks. That is it. The rest of these guys were drafted after tight end 17. We got Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki, Jonnu Smith, Elijah Higgins. Who? We have Zach Ertz, Brenton Strange, Luke Schoonmaker, and Darnell Washington. Could have told you he was going to show up in this list just because of Arthur Smith being in there at the Steelers. It's bad. It's not great, but it's the position of what it is, and I think that's how we need to approach this position. Is it's not broken anymore. Elite Travis Kelce seems to be gone, so we're not going to have anybody separating that much farther than the pack. At this point, we just need to be happy we didn't overpay for these tight ends. We got them at a decent price. Nothing too wild, I took some guys early on, but the elite tight end seems to be non-existent at this point in the season. I am excited to see some of these guys moving in the right direction, but at this point, it's streaming tight end season. Brandon, what you got? Tell the folks. You're confused? I totally get it, man. I totally understand the confusion you've got there. He's speechless, folks. He has no idea what to say. Let's move on to those rookies, though. We certainly have some new kids on the block here. Rookies showing out in week 2. Marvin Harrison Jr. had criticism out the wazoo after his first week, only posting just a measly 1 catch. Came out and did it well. 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did most, I believe, all of that in the first quarter. Broke free. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals looked so much better the second week. I was very apprehensive after the team's first game. The offense just did not look great. Malik Neighbors finishes as wide receiver 3, 10 catches on 18 targets. Over a 50% target share. It was 66, I believe. Wild. Absolutely wild. It's against the Washington Commanders, so I hope we can keep this continuing, but Daniel Jones is going to make it very hard for Malik Neighbors. Pulled in 127 yards and a touchdown. And then I touched on him just recently. Brock Bowers, man. He is making a name for himself on an offense where he's competing with Devontae Adams. He says, I don't care. I'm here to do it. I'm one of the best tight end prospects we've ever seen come out, at least recently as well. Dude, if you were able to get him off the waiver wire, if he wasn't drafted, if you're somehow able to pick him up, he looks like he's going to be a promising target going for the rest of the season. Brendan, what you got with the new kids on the block? Pretty excited. Jaden Daniels, you like him? Yeah, big fan over here at Jaden Daniels. Brendan has been talking his praises, and when you have a player that broke, we'll say the record, he has the most rushing attempts through the first 2 games of a career at 24. Guy behind him, somebody was in a similar situation. RG3 had 20 in the first 2 games of his career. Also went number 2 to the Washington team. What else you got, Brendan? Anything else? Nope. Oh, he is a man of not very many words today. He's a little choked up. He's excited, and really he agrees with everything I say. There's not often where this guy doesn't agree with me, so let's move on to the next one. Wouldn't you say? How about that, man? Let's do it. Back up the meat wagon, folks. We have so many people that are hurting. It's ugly out there. Matthew Stafford has no friends left to play with. Cooper Kupp looks like he's heading to IR with an ankle injury. Puka Nacua landed out there this past week. Justin Jefferson has a quad injury. It looks like he should be fine. Just a little quad contusion, but something that needs to be looked at. Isaiah Pacheco an offseason sweetheart in best ball, just a workhorse back. He was showing us that that's what he was going to do. Broken fibula. He's going to IR. I've seen anywhere from like 5 to 8 weeks, 6, 7 weeks, somewhere right in there. Either way, we're looking for replacements. Stay tuned today for the live stream, and we will hook you up with all those waiver ads for his replacement. A.J. Brown popped up on the injury report early Sunday morning as a hamstring. Missed out on this week, and reports are he will miss several. Well, at the same time, they didn't put him on IR. So I think that's something promising. They could have easily put him on IR Sunday to get through at least one of the 4 games last night, but they did not do that. So A.J. Brown, I'm hoping misses maybe one more game. Get him back in 2. That would be absolutely awesome. Evan Ingram also popped up early Sunday as a hamstring injury. I hope you were able to substitute early in that morning. I had to make the swap early, and Brenton Strange, who filled in for him, did a great job. 20% target share, second on the team, and second on the team in yards. Tyreek Hill. Nope, I'm so sorry. That's Taysom Hill. My bad. Taysom Hill went to the hospital with a chest injury. It does look like he's going to be okay. No real concerns there. Amon-Ra came off the field a couple times during his game. Still finished with 18 targets, but should be okay. Coach seems optimistic about him. Kittle also came off, was carted off to the locker room with cramps. Shouldn't be a big deal there, but he's going to be feasting this coming week because Deebo Samuel will be missing multiple weeks with a calf injury. So between him and McCaffrey, this team's falling apart. Brock Purdy is being sacked at the highest rate in the NFL right now. It's unreal. His career touchdown average has been over 7% this year. He's at a whopping 1.5. He's coming back to earth, folks. This offensive line isn't doing great, and the weapons are hurting. San Francisco, it's officially time to panic. Let's talk about some wonderful wide receivers. We talked about a handful with the young guns. DK Metcalf and his buddy JSN, both of them features as top 12 wide receivers this week. DK with 10 catches, 129 yards and a touchdown. And JSN, a career day as far as targets, catches, yards, caught 12 balls for 117 yards. Tyler Lockett had hardly anything in this game. So you can see they're trying to work their 2 elite young playmakers into this game. So excited to see where this offense continues. Geno looked a lot better in week 2 in the new system for Ryan Grubb. Nico Collins putting on a clinic, showing that he is not only the wide receiver 1 for this team, but he may be in contention for one of the best wide receivers in the league, or at least in fantasy this year. Absolutely crushing it. 8 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Tank Dell we are getting nothing consistent out of. He has big playability, but he is not being exclusively featured. And then Stephon Diggs, he's still down there. Did not get a touchdown this week, and his utilization was barely better than the week prior. Calvin Ridley somehow got it done, came in at wide receiver 5, 4 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown, a rush as well. Devontae Adams, who we saw peppered with targets, 9 catches, 110 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson doing Justin Jefferson things, even with Sam Darnold. The Vikings are lucky they paid him. Because if he does this on a season with Sam Darnold, he'd be asking for $45 million easy. I think they got a hell of a deal. Chris Godwin looks like Cooper Kupp in this system down in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield has changed. He no longer looks like the immature kid we saw come out of college. He now is taking responsibility for things. He's running that offense. He is being the leader that he's supposed to. And goodness, Chris Godwin is taking advantage of all these great things. And of course, I'm going to throw out QJ. 2 touchdowns. Do what you want with that. I'm not a huge fan of it. I know Brennan over here is a huge fan of QJ. What you thinking on that? Nothing? All right. Onward! Sunday stunners, that's what we're here to talk about. The Vikings are 2-0, and they finished it off with a win against the San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold had a couple of boneheaded mistakes, but he was still able to push through. The running game, the defense, it's all culminating into not great play, but good enough play to get it done. The coaching around this team is awesome. I'm thrilled to see what they can do, how far they can make it through the season. Green Bay is no Jordan Love, no problem. Malik Willis, the dude barely had any passing yards, and he still beat the Colts. They were absolutely just pounding the ball with Josh Jacobs. Didn't seem to work in the second half, but they were finding ways to get things done. Matt LaFleur absolutely put Malik Willis in a perfect position to win this game, to go out there and, I guess, really just not lose the game. The Saints, where are they? Where'd they come from? Who saw this coming? Yeah, put your damn ham down. I know you didn't. Yeah, Brennan's over there hiding because he's so embarrassed by it. Yeah, I see that face. I see that face, buddy. But Derek Carr is putting on a clinic down in New Orleans. 40 points over 40 points in the last 2 games for this team, and did it to a Dallas Cowboys defense. This team has completely flipped their offensive script, adding in Clint Kubiak. The amount of motion and play action they've put on this team is just unreal. Shaheed continues to get deep shots, and Olave, 1 yard away from a touchdown. Good days are ahead. His route running, it's looking good, folks. Don't freak out yet. And then, of course, I've got to throw it out to Baker just one more time. Got to win against Detroit. Held them under 20. Great game. Top to bottom. Great game. Alrighty, we couldn't get through this show without talking about some backfield beast. Yes, there are a couple of guys that are absolutely tearing it up, including J.K. Dobbins. This guy, coming off an ACL 2 years ago, an Achilles last year, and is just shredding the NFL right now. Pulled off 131 yards and a touchdown. This is the Chargers' first back-to-back 100-yard rusher since, I believe it's 2016, Melvin Gordon. They have not done something like this in a while, and Harbaugh's coming out showing that this is the identity of my team. Herbert's going out there, tossing the rock every now and then, getting a handful of touchdowns, especially to who we thought really poor receivers, and the running game's getting it done. Like 131 yards, 17 rushes, and Gus Edwards outrushed him too. So this team, that's their identity. You're going to do a lot against Carolina, but J.K. Dobbins seems to be for real until his body says, no, we're done. Alvin Kamara, coming off a 4-touchdown game, absolutely glorious. Led the way, 43 points and half-point scoring this week. Just a great game, and he had to show up James Cook. The James Cook on Thursday, 3-touchdown game. Touched the ball 12 times. 25% of his touches he scored in touchdowns. Looks great. We love seeing guys that are just blowing up. Speaking of blowing up, the Jets backfield. Braylon Allen scored 2 touchdowns. Absolutely vultured 2 of them from Breece Hall. Saw plenty of work, and yet Breece Hall still finished as RB4 on the week. Had 62 rushing yards, 52 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, they seem to be a huge part of this Jets offense because Garrett Wilson cannot do it all by himself out there receiving. So these running backs receiving a 33% target share on the year so far. And lastly, watch out, folks. There's a new sheriff in town. We have got to talk about some quarterbacks. Derek Carr. Who is this guy? I used to think this was like Tow Mater from Cars, but no. This is a Lamborghini we're looking at so far. This guy is tossing the rock and tossing it well. 243 yards, couple touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown this past week. Finished as the number 2 overall quarterback. It was a great week. How did he finish number 1? Oh, that's right, because we've got Kyler Murray doing Kyler Murray things. 59 rushing yards, 266 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He just absolutely took it to the Rams. The Cardinals did not let up. I thought this offense looked so much better in Week 2 compared to what they did in Week 1. Daniel Jones came out of nowhere as a Week 2 streamer, finishing at number 3 overall. He's playing the Commanders, though. This was a shot in the dark this week, but we're not doing that again. We are not touching that, folks. Hard pass. Sam Darnold came away with another top finish, number 4, 20 points, 32 rushing yards to go on top of his 2 touchdowns. Great day. Joe Burrow, we looked like he's coming back. The hand didn't seem to hamper him a lot, so I'm excited for his next few games because if he got dropped, I think he's in for a great next few weeks. He's got Washington, Carolina, and Baltimore. All right, folks, we got to wrap it up. For Brennan and Brian, this is Too Much Fantasy Football. We appreciate you listening here. If you're looking for more of me, you can find me on X at @too_much_Brian, and then all over here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network YouTube channel. We will be dropping a live stream later on today, Walking the Wire, where Brennan and I will be going. Real Brennan, not this Brennan. This one's kind of my new favorite. He hasn't disagreed with me all day. But we will be going live here in just a couple hours, answering all your waiver wire questions, filling you in. So make sure you stay tuned there. And, of course, look for the rest of our episodes. We got one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. Oh, crap. There's one on Friday. They're all over the place. But until next time, folks, I'm getting out of here because I'm just going to talk out my, you know what happens. Brennan, give him a wave. Tell him goodbye.